As of today, I am officially a permanent resident in Japan. This has been an insanely long grind, but I'm on my way down to the Immigration Bureau as we speak to pick up my new residence card. And as I reflect on how I got here, it really comes down to Pokemon.
Now, like most foreign people, my love affair with the country of Japan started through its media. And as a kid of the mid-90s, it was all about Pokemon. I was obsessed with the original Pokemon games, which I still kind of am to this day, and it sent me on this journey where I wanted to learn everything not just about the world of Pokemon, but the place that actually made it. So when I got to college, I started studying Japanese, partially so that I could play the original Red, Blue, and Green in Japanese, as well as watching anime and reading manga in Japanese. So yeah, I had no friends. But I was able to parlay my interest in Japan, plus the fact that I had some Japanese language skills, into a job on the JET program, the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program, something that I was utterly unprepared for. I mean, I was a guy who studied economics in school, so teaching kids how to speak English was not exactly something that I had any skills to do, but I decided to do my best. And when I used to make classroom activities, I would fall back to the things that I knew about Japan as a way to try to connect with the kids. And one of the things that I learned very quickly is that they consume the same media that we do, and that included Pokemon games. So I would make entire PowerPoint games to use in my English classes where it would be like, find the Pikachu, or Voltorb is going to explode if you don't answer the question correctly. So I'm not sure how much English the kids actually learned, but we had a great time. And it was that love of Pokemon and that connection that it allowed me to build with people here that kind of kept me going through some tough times. Like, I've been in Japan since 2013, and while yes, I took a short stint back in the United States during that, I came back before the pandemic just shut everything down and nobody could go anywhere. And during that time, the connections that I had built here, partially through friends who also liked Pokemon, was one of the few things that kept me going in that period of time. But fast forward to today, how did Pokemon actually help me get my permanent residence visa? Well, as you may know if you've come here from one of my other channels, I am Teo from RBY Pokemon Challenges and GSC Pokemon Challenges, two admittedly tiny YouTube channels that I don't blame you if you've never watched before, but I was able to turn my love of Pokemon into a way to actually make money from Pokemon. Not a huge amount of money, mind you. Like, if I shared my earnings, which I may do on this channel someday, you would probably laugh and say like, you're saying you're gonna go a full time as a PokeTuber on that? But remember, I live in Japan, where a 3-bedroom apartment like where I live right now costs less than $400 a month. So while my earnings from YouTube are certainly nothing to go bragging about on the internet, they're enough to actually move the needle. And that's what happened when I applied for my permanent residence. You see, when you apply for the permanent residence visa, you have to prove to the Japanese government that you make enough money to support yourself here. They don't want you to just, start collecting unemployment or some sort of disability benefit while living in their country as a non-citizen, which makes perfect sense. However, my family had a problem. You see, my Japanese wife lost her job last year, just 2 months before our baby boy was born. And because permanent residence is this really long process, you have to put in the application super early and just wait for them to say that you're okay. Our problem was that my wife losing her job affected our household income. And if we don't have enough income for me to support not just myself, but my wife and my baby boy, well, there's no way they were going to grant me a permanent residence visa. However, I was able to show, because I pay my Japanese taxes on my YouTube income, that I do in fact have an income that is sufficient to support a family of 3 here, between my full-time job plus the extra income that I was earning on the side from YouTube plus a couple of other part-time jobs. And it turns out that that was enough to push us over the edge of being able to actually get the permanent residence visa, something that I can't honestly say we would have been able to do with my income from my main job alone. Like, if you want to see how little they pay English teachers in this country, just go look up what Nova or something pays people, and you'll just see, like, it's really not good, especially if you translate it into your local currency. And then consider that what you're probably looking at is what people get paid in places like Tokyo or Osaka, big cities, not rural Japan where I live, where you'd be lucky to find even similar salaries to that out here. Oh, it's terrible. I'm just saying, it's incredible how low salaries can actually be. In fact, the last time that I was in the US, I had some guy trying to sell me a timeshare because I'm actually almost old enough to be the old man from the Pokemon Catch tutorial. And I told him what I made in Japan, and he just said, "How do you live on that?" So, yeah, take that for what you will. But that brings me now to today. I have in my hands my permanent resident visa, and that opens up a lot of possibilities to me. You see, I've been waiting to go full-time on YouTube for when I actually get the permanent residency, and there's a few good reasons for that. Of course, number one is the fact that being a permanent resident, I'm no longer tied to any single employer or tied even technically to my wife to stay in Japan. I promise, sweetie, I'm not like trying to divorce you or something now that I got permanent residence. She is an amazing woman, so yeah. But it does mean that if anything did happen to my wife, if she became, comatose or something, I wouldn't have to sit here and panic about how am I going to stay in the country. But there's another much bigger piece of this, which is that while yes, currently with my full-time job plus a couple part-time jobs plus my YouTube earnings, I was able to show I make enough money to the Immigration Bureau, it would be much harder to demonstrate to them that I was making enough money to support my family just from YouTube, especially if I'm running it as a private business. There might be years where I make less income than I made the year before, or I might have a bunch of expenses. I might buy a brand new computer and hire an editor and all these other things that would cause me to have a little bit of outlay, lowering my total income at the end of the day that I pay taxes on. You also have to keep in mind that YouTube income fluctuates. It's just the nature of the beast. I've had months where I made I have some months where I make like 2.5 times my average, and I have months where I've made like half of my average. And if you're happening to go to the Immigration Bureau to renew your visa at a time where your income happens to be down, they might panic and say like, how are you going to support yourself? You had 1 month where you didn't make as much money as usual. It's a problem that I didn't want to have. So by getting the permanent residence visa, my status as a permanent resident is exactly that, permanent. I no longer have to go back and apply for a new visa every couple years and show them all of my income statements again to try to prove that I can support myself here. So at this point, I'm basically planning to go full-time on YouTube. I'm going to be finishing out my current work contract that will end March 31st of 2026. So yeah, don't be shocked when it's April 1st and I'm like, hey guys, I'm a full-time YouTuber now. It's not actually a April Fool's joke. I'm just telling you like, 5 months in advance? But it essentially means that, yeah, I'm going to be doing this YouTube thing. I'm going to be doing it full time. And it's all because Pokemon enabled me to get to this point. So I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. And with that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. But now very quickly before I go, if you are one of my subscribers over on RBYPC or GSCPC and you happen to pop over here and watch this video, this channel is a new channel. It is the April Fool's meme that I did last year about, an IRL channel. It's not going to be all like I'm outside doing IRL stuff, but I will occasionally go outside and touch grass just so that you guys know that, outdoors, it still exists, guys. But this channel will serve additionally to be my place to post anything that I want to talk about that is not Pokemon gameplay content. I may want to talk about the YouTube landscape, especially with some of the crazy changes that YouTube has made recently. I'm sure there will be several rants on this channel at some point. We will also be talking about life as a content creator and life as an expat in Japan here occasionally. This is my water cooler. This is my hangout spot. So if you want to come and chill with me, feel free to hit the sub button I don't think we're going to get any views here. I don't think we're going to get any subs here, but that's perfectly fine, really. Just if you want to hang out, that's cool. If on the other hand, you happen to be brand new here and you actually watched this video, if you like Pokemon gameplay content, click the links down below. And yeah, let's just run this up in 2026. I'm just super excited. I'm probably like rambling over here because I'm just like, oh my God, I got my permanent residence. Yeah. Anyway, appreciate you guys. I will see you in the next one. Later.